G2 currently 1-0 up in this series in front of the home crowd. A great performance over on Nuke. And now the question becomes, will Valiance wake up or will they Vertigo go, Hugo? That's the question. Vertigo coming up next. Our first time casting this map since it was added to the pool. You and I have been lifelong fans of Vertigo.
Supporters since day one, Harry.
Since day one, even back in the old Vertigo. But this one...
Wouldn't go that far.
No, yeah, no, me. The old one was
trash,
really
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
But this one, I'm excited just to see not only what Valiance have prepared. I actually overheard them having a little huddle, like just a minute ago. And you know that they were speaking to one another. And I overheard a few like choice words of encouragement. You know, this is our map. This is the one we are focusing on. This is the map we've been pracking for. Let's just focus on it. You know, they're coming into this. They're looking driven. And we've heard, you know, they have been pracking some strats. The question you and I both had, G2, when your insta-ban is Mirage, you kind of have to play a map like Vertigo. We haven't seen them play it since it was added. So we get to see now, has G2 been working on this map behind the scenes?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. There's no anti-stratting here today. I mean, the only registered games that Valiance have even had is one 16-7 win over fours online. That was actually a game in the DreamHack Summer Qualifier, which they also qualified to eventually by beating Winstrike. So, yeah, they've played it once. G2 haven't played it at all. Could this mean that they're not prepared, or could this mean that they're over-prepared? Who knows? And that's what makes it all the more exciting. Teams don't know what to expect. I think Valiant should have the edge. I mean, we love old Tom Biz. He told me that he spoke to Emmy in Rio, and he said that they've been doing a fair bit of practice on it. Yeah. They've got their own set executes. They're ready. So that spells good time.
The one thing is, though, especially when like new maps get brought into the pool like Vertigo, strategies and ideas that maybe work in practice, maybe work in the scrims, maybe don't translate across into a real game. You know, when you're under the pressure, the conditions are different, the entire atmosphere kind of shifts, and especially in a game as important as this one, the semi-finals here. You know, and now as well, with G2 being 1-0 up, looking so convincing on that CT side, they're gonna have momentum. They're gonna have some confidence here, even if this is a map they're not that comfortable on. I think we're either gonna see Valiance looking really, really polished, and maybe G2 looking a bit or this is just gonna be a scrappy, brawly affair. Both teams kind of, you know, just at each other's throats, a straight fight to the death. And it would just be, you know, whoever's hitting their shots takes that map.
I'm ready for some smoke diffuses. I'm ready for some diffusers being killed through smoke, Harry. I'm ready for some A-side takes.
I'm ready for 30 A-side plays in a row. No, because that's the thing. I remember when Vertigo was first added, with B being so close to T-spawn, the original thing was everyone just figured you'd be rushing B, right? But then you kind of realize that that wall of smokes on A in its current state is so powerful, you know? You can get to that T ramp, the A ramp, in the same time the CTs can get to the top of it. You know, they can't cross the sandbags, the timing isn't there. So it's actually a very, very easy avenue on that map for the T side to take, and that's why a lot of pros do have issues with the map in its current form, right? And there's no real option aside from if you want to go for an aggressive B ramp peak or try and challenge in mid. There's nowhere really that you have to fight for that map control over towards A as the T side.
It does make it very fun. It does make it very scrappy. And yeah, I do think Valve will change the A side, frankly.
I think they will.
Maybe it's after the major, but you know, in its current form, from what we've seen, we haven't seen like all the tier 1 teams on LAN together playing it, you know, in Astralis Liquid, or for example, right? And I think that will really decide how this is going to be shaped. But yeah, I mean, B, as you said, originally was an issue on this map. Valve fixed it. They moved the Ts further away from it. They changed the spawns to the CTs are more favored. They fiddled with the map a little bit. And so I imagine with A now being the focus point, the Valve might make some changes there as well. But it's only speculation. We've really just got to see what happens. And obviously we need events like this to play test the map, to see how it runs in reality. Knife run going on your screens, you can see as well. That's G2 picking that up. They will get the choice on sides. I imagine they go for the T side, but who knows?
And a part of me sometimes wonders if because of the prominence of this A ramp, you know, the strength of this A execute that you can do, if maybe we're going to see CT side teams elect to try and have a bit more of a heavy mid presence, try and contend for the actual elevator drop down spot, because that can be a very strong way of cancelling out a ramp push. Because, you know, you still have to take time to line up that utility, to, you know, care not to get spammed through the smoke or caught by maybe a player holding close ramp. You do waste a bit of precious time, and if you're going to go straight into that A play, you know, maybe you've got 1 or 2 players keeping an eye on mid, but you do want the bulk of your forces concentrated over towards that A site to be set up in the post plant. We're going to see a bit more of a proactive approach around mid. I'm speculating a lot because, you know, we haven't really seen much Vertigo played at all. Not even, you know, you and I in terms of casting it. We just haven't seen much Vertigo full stop, but we're about to get into it. G2 versus Valiance. G2 1-0 up. Vertigo is Valiance's map pick, and let's get into this one. G2 over on the CT side. And already Valiance, they're not disappointing. A few players over towards A. But actually, that bomb is sitting back right now. It's not rotating around, so this isn't going to be the A side execute. Instead, it looks like Valiance have their eyes set over here toward B, at least initially.
Yeah, and still a player in mid as well, ready to watch that elevator drop, not allowing G2 to get behind enemy lines. That's Esperanto. Pretty passive mid setup here for G2. One player, just shocks, that's it. You can already see G2 rotating a player off of A early on. It will be that B stairs crawl. Lucky gets the info, spots it, falls back to the end of the site. They have a Molotov as well. They could clear out the back site here. I imagine that's going to be where it's for a pretty common position. Shox has moved behind the forklift, or the toolbox rather. Lucky, he's not seen this push come through just yet. He only saw one head, so it's not a full rotate yet from G2. But now Shox can begin to move through. He's got to watch his back. Esperanto's peeked through middle. He misses the shot. Lucky does get his, though. The trade immediately there. That Molotov forces Lucky out into the open as expected, and the smoke wall cuts off Kenny. Bomb down for Valiance, and a 4-on-4 on the retake here for G2.
Yeah, we heard that these guys had executes. This is a nice one. They actually completely block off these players over towards connector. Now they're just trapped at the grey boxes. Shox on this wrap round might find Esperanto at ramp, but no, he gets bested. Otto at Tetris, quick double, and that will be the round going the way of Valiance. They move 1-0 up in this series. They find that pistol round, get off to a good T-side start.
Yeah, and a nice slow round as well. I like the pace being set there, making G2 question. And I think this B site is going to be such a difficult one to retake as a CT when there's, you know, more than 3 players on it. There's so many little cubby holes, so many little crossfires.
It really reminds me kind of like a Dust 2B bomb site, right? Even with the inclusion of the little windows, similar to how retaking that site works. It feels like it's the same sort of thing. Like in a 3-on-3, you might give it a look in, but you're likely not going to go for it. Early on, Valiance with 3 players up towards this A bomb site, the tried and tested method, the preference of so many teams. And, well, there'll be 4 players here to greet them if they decide to commit to it. But with where that bomb is right now, it doesn't like Valiance are too drawn into this A bomb site just yet, although it will start to make its way around now. They leave Esperanto behind to keep an eye on that elevator position. He's also he's making sure that no players can try and drop down behind the T forces here at the ramp. And he's even going to start to pressure it. If he continues forward, he can come in on this late wrap and either cut off this one rotation of Lucky or find these players at this A bomb site and just shoot them in the back.
Molotov's blanketing the bomb site. The SMG lining up 2. Hunter's found himself close. I like using the mollies there instead of the smokes towards the left side of the site, because CTs can easily hide behind the default box. The smokes actually cut off the top boost. So G2 can't get above and beyond. Esperanto with a late flank gets Shox, and Nexa cleans up house. I like that from Valiance, very nice. We typically see smokes on either side of the bomb site. It's a bit awkward because CTs can just spray through it, they can flash through it, they can throw Molotovs, but with the mollies actually cutting off G2 and forcing them back into that elevator room, Hunter's able to line up 2 on the retreat. So there's an execute from Valiance finding themselves their second round. G2 now with guns. Only 1 incendiary to play with, and Esperanto flashing quick into middle, but it won't be the burst play from the T side. It's rather the CTs that look to take control. And one molly used to afford mid for those CTs. They have that elevator drop, so Valiance need to dedicate a player to below, but they're just finding kills left, right, and center already over this A site. One of the mid men going down. Amanek smokes deep, but it doesn't matter. It's a 2-on-5 here. Valiance have players all over the map.
Yeah, we were questioning if G2 had practiced this map all too much. With how this is looking, they do look a bit confused in some of these rounds. And this one, almost no exception. These SMGs, that was the bonus round from Valiance, and they don't lose a single player. They go flawless. So certainly not the result you wanted if you were G2 in that situation. They're going to be relegated down to an eco in this round, so Valiant's allowed to continue to build upon this lead. They've had 1 death so far in these first few rounds, so money is far from a problem at the forefront of Valiance's mind. Nexa opens this round up over towards ramp. And already this eco sits now a man down.
This is a very favorable fight for Tees a lot of the time. If you're just holding the B stairs push and G2 peek you, Valiants are going to be favored there. So Nexa finding the pick isn't too much of a surprise, and G2 probably can't afford to get aggressive on this B part of the map until you at least know that Valiants are on A. That's very common, right? If the Tees go for an A execute, they get the smoke walls down, they get the plant in, you can flank B all the way through T spawn and you know, get into the back line. But early fighting on ramp is going to favor Tees. At least I call those stairs ramp all the time. They're stairs, they're not a ramp. A has a ramp. This smoke from Kenny in through the A side of the map.
I mean, aren't stairs just pointy ramps?
Raise a compelling argument.
Kenny's going to have his big green gun, the magic stick. Ooh, and that's a nice little flick down onto Hunter. So finally we see G2 not only start around with a man advantage, but they actually get their second kill of the map thus far. Wall banging through the plywood there. Doesn't find much, bit of damage onto Letney, that is all. Valiant's grouping up over here towards A. They've got the smokes to go for this just blanket if they want. Wrap it around the A bomb site. And as they line those up now, actually a flash on round to try and allow G2 to find something, but Amanek kills his teammate, and that's left G2 in a 3-on-3. Kenny's still at A here, but he's very much alone. Rotation is coming round from Shox and Lucky. Kenny. He's got this angle to look through. No scope, looking for more. Nexa shuts him down. Lucky and Shox all that remain. Still a gap here for them to try and work around. And Otto on the other side getting tagged up. Lucky brought down within inches of his life. Both these players low. Shox gets one. And Nexa now planting the bomb. Shox going to start to peek into it. The bomb is down, and Shox knows exactly where Nexa is. He gets the kill, and G2, they finally take their first CT side round there in round number 5.
It doesn't work out as well as they would have liked, but I really like the re-aggression there on A ramp from G2. They know that the Tees are setting up for an A execute, and they've heard nothing towards mid or B, so they decide to get aggressive with the help of a pop flash from Kenny to put both Jax and Amanek aggressively forward, and taking early kills. It would have worked out if Jax didn't kill his teammate, or Amanek rather. But either way, it leaves G2 in a 3-on-3 that they can convert. Fast mid play with the AWP from Otto, not able to get the shot off. He does get burnt as well. Amanek's pushed up in this off angle above the B stairs. But it's not B where Valiants are looking, it's A once again. 2 players early on, one coming to join them, and Jax tries to retreat. He fails to retreat. Hunter gets the opening kill. Kenny now alone on the A site, calling for help from Shox, who will give up mid, but that gives a lot of room for Valiants, who can just work out into this position. If we look at Nexa, oh no, he's below mid. Classic, mini-map. Kenny, does he realize they're holding for this push? It's Hunter close by, there it is. Kenny takes the wall bang, and G2 back into a 4-on-4.
Yeah, the promising thing is Kenny looks pretty at home on this map. Oh, and Nexa's going to check for Amanek. He gets deleted, and Lucky, yeah, almost gets caught out there. The Molotov drop finds good damage, and through that smoke, MP9 roars to life. Rotations coming in from the rest of G2, so there is a bit of a 3-on-3 here, but Letney finds Kenny. He goes hurtling down towards the ground, but Shox is on this wraparound, and he's looking to topple a couple of players as well. Gets the first. Otto, quick flick, and he's able to clutch it in the 1v2. Valiance, a 5th round of their name. Try as Kenny might. It's not meant to be. What I was going to say is, you know, Kenny, he seems pretty aware of a lot of these angles, a lot of the kind of more goblin-y positions that you can look to try, you know, a lot more of the kind of gimmicky angles on a map like Vertigo. So he certainly is looking pretty well versed on it right now, and I think that's a good sign. At least you've got a strong player who's already kind of having a few little faint glimmers of hope for the squad.
Credit to Valiance, though. They've not just been going for flat A bomb site
they've got a nice bit of variety here.
Yeah, this has been some nice mid-rounding, good defaults. They've gone for some A-side plays. They've also split B through window. And this round is just pistols for G2, and they are getting torn apart, as expected. Also, that position that Amanek used in the previous round above the stairs, not as valuable as it seems. Very easy to check as a terrorist. And if you don't have B control early in the round, you should always be checking that when moving late. I would almost compare it to like playing scaffolding outside of B site in a mid to B on Dust 2, for example. But for now, G2 just patiently waiting for Valiance to walk into their crosshairs. It will be back round towards the A side. He's already deep. He's taking Kenny. That bomb's going to be joining him, and Amanek too far away.
Yeah, Amanek has absolutely no chance in this round. Esperanto's even hunting for him, and Valiance will move up 6-1. A very, very dominant T-side start here. And a pause cooled on in. You have to imagine this is a G2 tactical. They do have the cash to invest. That was the eco round from them. But if you're G2 here, I honestly don't know what the answer is, right? Because Valiance have clearly come into this very, very prepared, right? We'd heard that they'd been pracking. We heard that they've got, a lot of set strats pieced together. And the thing I was wondering is, would it really work here on the stage versus a team of the caliber of G2? And it certainly looks like it is right now. I don't know if you're G2, how you remedy that. This can be such a one-sided map. And, G2, they do have a lot of pressure alleviated by sitting 1-0 up in the series. Dust 2 is that third map, obviously. But this time, some rampant aggression from the French squad, and Shox will find the man advantage on the back of it.
Yeah, but Otto, he's already up into the B site. Look at this. There's a player close spotting. Lucky, he got the info. Molotov down. Doesn't want these players to commit towards B. Would rather have a rotate in, and he will get one. Alex here. Nice nade as well. Look at that damage. And the rotates through for G2. They've peeked A ramp aggressively. There's no one else there, so they've decided to put 3 players on B. This is a very, very strong stack. Valiance have a lot of Molotovs to clear out positions, but I wonder if they'll do so from the spots they're in currently. Esperanto and Otto can't really throw utility from these positions. It needs to be thrown from down the stairwell. G2 now with 4 players here, including the player in mid who's close by. Jax has found the opening kill, and Otto's been dropped with his AWP. Kenny's still close on the site, and Lucky dead in the smoke. Valiance taking their time to run over B, and that entry will not work out for Esperanto. Kenny locking it down, dropping the bomb, and Letney now alone. They know he's nearby, and it's only a matter of time before they can finish him off.
Ooh, oh, can they? Now the 1v3 presents itself. Jax, the only man with any HP to his name. The others are dead in one shot, and Letney's going to look to try and clear the back left of sight. Spot and wallbang through the rafters there. Won't find Kenny, who was at the back of the bomb site. He posted himself up where his teammate has fallen, and on the back of that tactical pause, G2 will find their first round in a little while. Still sitting on the back foot, 2-6, but at least they found something that looked to work for them. Not sure we're going to see more ramp aggression in this round, even though it was, a pretty determining factor in the one prior.
Kenny, he's found a pick in this one. He just pushed into middle. Otto's going to get taken down. We've not seen Valiance put too much stake in mid early on in the round as a terrorist. You don't really need to, as long as you have control towards the elevator and you know that they can't drop. That's the most important factor. But these kills are coming through swimmingly for G2. Jax close on the A site, dropping the bomb and the smoke as well. Letney further up, and Jax, he will fall. 4 HP. Letney has a plant afforded to him. There's no one here. Shox is the closest man in rotation, but he's behind. And Letney's realized, but knowing is only half the battle. Shox will win the battle. And that's G2 taking back-to-back rounds, starting to work things out here on the CT side. Starting to come to grips with things. It's very important from what we're seeing that G2 get away with this man advantage early on, and the way to find that each round has to constantly switch up. They can't keep doing the same thing. Last time it was the ramp aggression. This time Kenny pushed mid. And I like that call, knowing that Valiance have not been putting any stake in actually getting out through mid in the early round. It lets the CTs molly it off, smoke it off, try and control the elevator. And even if you're not dropping, just you having the elevator room, at least the top of the drop, puts so much fear in the minds of the terrorists that they have to dedicate a player to watching it. Even though maybe you only drop 1 or 2 rounds in an entire half.
Yeah, you mentioned how important the man advantage is. Obviously, that's the case for any map, but it does feel like here on Vertigo, that really is the case. Because if you just kind of let the T-side take their time, have a 5-on-5, you can fall back into that A execute time and time again and just group up, smoke off, no matter how many players there are in the bomb site. And usually that ends up in a bomb plant. So you really do need to be taking these initial fights as a CT. This round, it's the more passive approach. Instead, G2 decides to stack 3 players up in the A bomb site. This is the alternative, right, to trying to go for the aggression, is you do just have to take some of these gambles. And here's the aggression coming through. Flash allows that peek, and they didn't spot anyone there. Hunter was hidden. There also was a man back at yellow, so G2 potentially could have the wrong read, but they're going to keep 3 players here.
Bombs coming as well. Shox is going to be really interesting to watch this round, where he goes. He can drop elevator, he can flank T-spawn, or he can safe rotate. I wonder where he's going to go once this execute comes through. Molly's on the ramp. Keeps Valiance back for a second. And, you know, G2, I'm sure they realize this is A, but they just don't want to be the first man to move. They don't want to be, you know, caught on a rotation if Valiance do have a lurker or a player holding default up on B or in middle. Pressure being put on Kenny. Nades going too deep to do damage. Jack's above the site. Gonna have to drop off. 30 seconds. This bomb part needs to come through, and there's the execute from Valiance. Exactly what we were expecting. So much utility usage. Jax is playing close, and he does take the man advantage. Can't double it next to it with the off angle. Bomb part's in, but Kenny's out with another kill through the smoke. Otto does get a follow-up, and Shox on the late lurk down through ramp gets caught by Letney. This is a sweeping round for Valiance. Next, they're even dropping Kenny through the smoke, getting revenge, and Lucky's getting wallbanged to the end of the earth.
Yeah, I just want to hold on to the AWP at this point in time. He's going to give this a look in, see if he can find something, but Otto at the sandbags, shutting him down, cementing a 7th for Valiance. That A-site execute was lovely. You get the smoke down as well, even to deny that boost up on top of the containers towards CT. And that's kind of a double-edged smoke, because also you can boost right at the back of CT on the scaffolding. That smoke cancels out that boost as well.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a 2-for-1 almost. Otto's going to have the AWP, but this time challenging mid. G2 have been very proactive in trying to take control of this portion of the map, not just because it gives you an avenue to maybe find an opener, but you can get so much information and have such a faster rotation just by holding on to that elevator room. So this time, Valiance don't give it up.
Look at G2 over on B, though. They've got 3 players aggressively moving down the stairwell. They are already T-spawn bound. And Kenny, through the metal, very, very close. The info's there for Valiance. They know that G2 have gotten aggressive, and so they're going to spur onto the A site, but they don't expect Shox up close. He gets the trade. Hunter dead, and Shox is trying to hold on to this one alone, but his teammates are falling like flies. Esperanto with another entry, and he will follow up. Valiance have the A site once again, and this time with a 2-man disadvantage. Retake is looking dire. Look at the control Valiance have taken with these smokes as well. They've not fallen back towards the ramp. Once they've taken the man advantage, they've smoked off CT, they've smoked off elevator, and they've pushed up to keep G2 out for good.
Yeah, and I think, you know, really that's kind of the way that A bomb site is it is best to be held, right? Because if you do decide to all fall off on ramp, G2 or the CT side, whoever it may be, can kind of do the same sort of A side default that we saw for CT teams do. You can just smoke off that ramp and try and stick the defuse, and then it just becomes a bit of a guessing game of spamming through smokes. So I like that from Valley. So the aggression, instead of falling back and relying on you know, finding the kill onto the attempted defuse, you just take those gunfights and hold those angles instead.
And the reason they know they can do that in that round is because at the start, the first contact made is with Kenny S aggressive on B. They know G2 have gone for a push on the B site, and they're expecting it's unlikely to just be Kenny on his own down ramp. So as a result, they just charge A, knowing the rotations will take a while, and knowing that they may even be flanked. So pushing into the CT spawn makes a lot of sense. 8-3 here, Valiance masterclass on this map right now. Obviously yet to see G2's T-side, and from what we can gauge from this map, it does seem T-sided. Quite so. But G2 for now just on pistols. Couple of bits of armor and 1 smoke on Lucky, just for that defuse potentially. Ooh, there's a shot. Otto taking down Jax. Well, thinking about it, I'd love to have on these ecos a kit and a smoke every time, because there's such a good chance that if you lose A, you can just jump on that bomb, and hopefully in all the havoc, all the chaos, you can get a defuse. Look at this chaos though, pushing up with the CTs. They take 3 for 1. Amanek with a double.
these pistols have done a hell of a lot, and also that bomb is dropped. Valiance have to try and retrieve it. They do at least deal with Amanek, but still this 2-on-2. G2 gonna elect to split up here. Ooh, hang on a minute. Lucky, or Shocks rather. No, it is, yeah. Shock should have heard that drop down, so the early rotation comes in from Lucky. Flash over, bit of a gap in this smoke for Shocks to exploit, and I've noticed this smoke is missed a few times. I don't know if this is intentional or not, but it does allow them to shut down Shocks. Bomb plot is safe. Lucky won't be able to spray down the man till he's off of it. Tries to find something through that smoke. Does have a smoke of his own, but Nexter is quick and clean. Valiance up 9-3. As close as that round gets, they are able to recover.
G2 definitely seem to have the idea on how to combat this A-ramp progression on the city side. The issue is just the late rounds are going so well for Valiance. They're clearly well drilled on these mid-round situations and knowing where to go, how to get picks, and then, you know, grouping up and just going for the A execute on a 2-on-2 when G2 is split up. It's all perfect for Valiance, even though G2 got aggressive on ramp and found 3 kills off of it. Again, back to A. Classic strat here. Valiance going fast, but Hunter first to fall. Jax has been loving this top A site position. Getting a lot of value out of it as well. Very easy to get a shot and just drop off. And it's not exactly an angle you're going to hard check if you're Valiant. Expecting more around the edge of the site. This bomb's still outside of B, and it will be the destination for it. It's Valiance begin to walk up. G2 with only a solo man here. He does have an incendiary to do at least delay for rotations, but his teammates are so far away.
It's the timing game now. Lucky, oh, he spots the first man. The rotation starts to come through. The wall of smoke's down to block Lucky off from in between the grey boxes. Now over at Pillar, another Molotov raids in, and everywhere G2 try and hold. There's either a smoke or a molly lying in wait.
Wow.
Amanek boosted over the top, but Letney, he's shut down the boost. They've been toppled. Kenny arrives with the AWP now to try and save the day, and he has pulled it back into a 3-on-3. He even sees the barrel of Otto over at the back box, and that will be another for Kenny. Now Jax, the only man left standing. Finally, Kenny gets dealt with. Letney with a triple. Nexter on the double. Yorp carried forward as well. That can go back in the hands of Otto. And Valiance, they're going to reach double digits, sitting 10-3 here on their T side.
Yeah, Valiance definitely knew about that boost, Harry. That was no surprise to Letney there. Look at this. He literally pre-aims it as well. Takes down the top player, sprays down the bottom.
The one thing I will say to Valiance, I clearly drilled on this map as they were kind of hyped up to be. I'm curious how they play their siege side. I want to see what solutions they've come up with to this A default that so many teams elect to run. For this round, a fast round, up ramp, knowing that the money at G2 is low, knowing they don't have the utility to keep a fast play at bay. Up in the window, Amanek tucked away for the time being. Shots on the off angle, Esperanto finds him. Amanek sprinting in, doesn't quite get the kill, but he thinks he has, and Hunter's found him as a result. Kenny, Jax, 2v3, Otto's tagged up, but no nades, no Molotovs to finish him off. They've got to do it. Kenny will fall short. Jax in the 1v3, retaken from ramp. Can he find anything here?
Oh, just missing as well. If he moved a couple of meters forward, he would have seen Hunter, but death rains in from above, and Valiant are on fire right now. 11-3 on the T side, looking for that 12-3 half, and with G2's money being broken after that half buy, or, well, it's full buy, but with no utility really, it's going to be a rough one, Harry. Pistols once again for G2. And basically whatever they can scramble with this 3,400 loss bonus. They've got a decent buy, all things considered, to be honest. More than I even expected, but it may not make a difference. Valiant's running away with this one. Otto with the AWP, fast into middle this time. He'll drop Kenny. Surprised at the lack of teammate control Valiance have shown this half, but still finding so much success despite that. G2 do get the trade, but in the meantime, Valiant's are back up for another AXX.
Yeah, they'll try and hit this A side of things. Now, Jax is here. Good flash to facilitate this peak. The issue he's going to have is getting so deep. Does leave you deep within the Lion's Den. Shocks trades back, putting us into a 3-on-3. Bomb has crossed over and into the bomb site. It's on the back of Nexter, and he's looking to get it down. Damages up Shocks. The nade's going to be enough to finish him off, but before he goes down in his dying breath, He's able to drop Nexa and the bomb. Now trying to assemble this boost. Amanek about to go over. Letney, oh, he's so ready. Ooh, maybe not. Instead, going to anticipate the wrap on the left, and Amanek gets the double. A fourth round for G2 at the very end of this first half, but still a massive, massive effort from Valiance, sat 11-4. The question now is, can G2 pull it back over on the T side, or is this going to be going the distance? Are we going to end up on Dust 2? Join us in just a moment to find out.
Did I lose this ground? I know it isn't like me. Nothing's gonna right me ever since you struck me down. Thought it was just one hit. Now I'm in, I can't quit. My hands are tied, I can't break free. Said it was the last time, but I'm back here on the front line with you shooting holes in me. No matter what I do, you got my body in a cold sweat. You got my body in a cold sweat. Can't get enough of you. I can't eat, I can't sleep. Devils in the front seat, driving me to hell and back. I wish I didn't want you, but no one does what you do, and nothing's gonna bring me back. Well, I could lie to you, and I could say withdrew, but you know that that ain't true. 'Cause you got my body in a cold sweat. 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 Can't get enough of you.
At 11-4 half in favor of Valiance on Vertigo. Over on that T side. Coming into this, we'd heard that they'd been preparing. We heard that they'd been doing their homework, and it is showing off in the server right now. G2 moving over onto this T side. 5 sets of armor across the board. This is not how you see most of these pistol rounds go down. These smokes can make all the difference on this map, and there is a complete lack of them over on this T side.
But look at Valiance's setup right now. 2 inside of B, 1 close towards the window. And if no mid-split comes through from G2, Esperanto's going to be able to help out his B teammates if they're needed. There's no armor to cut off this player. This might force an early rotation. G2 have run up on the A site. They've traded 1 for 1. Now the B players are leaving and G2 are hitting B. This is perfect. Valiance have been sold. Hook, line, sinker. Amanek is going deep within the spawn, and 2 kills from him. This might be salvageable from G2 after all.
Yeah, just Hunter left alive, and he's going to get cut down. And G2 in with the pistol here. And now 5-11, they can start to build up some momentum of their own over on the T side of things, Hugo. Maybe still a means of getting back into this for the French squad.
The thing we have to remember is we haven't seen G2 C side. We haven't seen them play this map. They could be well prepared, Harry. Maybe the CT side was rough. Maybe Valiance just caught them off guard. G2 could have as much, if not more, strategy coming into the second half. We're going to have to wait and see. And also, as you mentioned earlier, what are Valiance's protocols? What are their responses to certain things that G2 do? Well, we're yet to see. It's going to have to be USPs first. Deep smoke in mid for G2.
And you know, this is just the anti-eco from G2. This is a round that they should be picking up. I want to touch upon something that you brought up in round 15 that we spoke about a bit during the break, and that was, you mentioned how Valiance weren't really challenging mid as that T side early on. Hang on a minute, they are walking into a stack here. So let's actually get back to the point at hand, which is the game. And then we'll go over some of the theory, at least. Esperanto in with another. G2, they are running for the hills. At least Lucky is deep within CT. He can guarantee not only that he's cleared that B bomb site, but he can cut off these rotations. And Lucky should be able to salvage this round for G2. The bomb goes down. He's pulled it back to a 3-on-3. If you're Valiance, you could elect to go for this, or you could just try and hold that AK on Esperanto. And it wouldn't surprise me if maybe that's the decision they go for. They don't have kits. You don't have armor behind this AK. They might take a little peek into the bomb site and see what they can find. But the rest of these players are so far away from Esperanto that, yeah, they are just going to slow right down. G2 will be securing a 6th round.
Lucky shows the value of having a lurk on the T side of this map. So important, because at any point, the CT's rotations between sites aren't that long, so they can stack sites very, very easily. As a result, if you have a feeling where you see the Valiants have 3 or 4 players on a site, if Lucky's just walking up B ramp, he's going to clear up everything. Vice versa, works both ways. Middle as well. Lurk is so important on the terrorist half, and G2 showing us why. Lucky will save the round there after Esperanto gets 2 kills on that A site defense with a USP of all weapons. And G2, slowly but surely getting back into things. The question at hand is this rifle round for Valiance.
Yeah, this is where we really get to see how not only prepared G2 are, but how prepared Valiants are for their CT half, right? We know they have executes and things like that, but that is your T side, right? And this map is a T-sided map, at least from what we've seen thus far. So the real thing I want to see is what sort of solutions they tried to come up with to quell some of these very, very strong set pieces you can throw in on the T side of things. Next to here at the gray boxes, no smokes to nullify him, so he's given free reign, and they actually then smoke off the entrance into B. They have to now wrap around on the rafters, and the bomb is at the feet of Valiance. G2 have to extend so deep into this bomb site to retrieve it, and Nexa, he's gone through these smokes. He's trying to wrap around from behind. They're not ready, and Nexa could do so much, spraying through. He's got 3. Shock 1-on-4 does dig down Nexa, puts a stop to the madness for the time being, and in with a second of his own. This bomb is still a very long way away, and Shock's running for the hills. Might try and go for the lengthy A-side wrap, but Hunter has heard these footsteps. He's even watched for that cross and didn't catch him doing it. I think he's aware that he beat him on the timing as well, so he gets the info that Shox is not headed into that A-bomb site. He's just going to float around in mid to keep an eye on the potential window wrap. Shox back at ramp will be afforded a 1v2 for the time being. Hunter now repositioning behind the toolkit down in mid. And he's going to be so fast at rotating in to try and trade this that even if Shox did do some damage, it wouldn't be much to worry about. The trade can be there almost immediately. And that will be Valiance in with the 12th round.
Yeah, what a massive performance from Nexa as well. You could see what G2 did there. They sectioned off certain parts of the sites with the smokes. You could see cutting off those 2 open areas between the big metal containers. And Nexa, well, he loves the smoke push. Flash through, gets aggressive, 3 kills, and locks down that B-bomb site for Valiance. G2's money now broken. Got to take a half bite. They've not got the rounds to play with, otherwise it would be easy to consider a force here. Lucky trying to set his team up into this B-bomb site with the utility. Smoke in the window, flash up high, and Otto's close. That smoke again going down for the CT side. And Otto lining them up as they run right through it. Amanek jumping and spraying with the MAC-10, and he opens up on B. 2 kills. Valiant's now left in a 2-on-4, and weapons are being scavenged. They're being picked up here from G2. Hunter's going to get aggressive, but he misses the jump, hits the wall. I think Lucky shot him in the air as well, which slowed him down. And bye-bye, Hunter. Until next time.
Yeah, the gravity of that situation only just setting in, but G2, a 7th round, they're able to get it done on the back of Amanek, just charging in to that B site. A second man over towards ramp might catch Letney off guard as he tries to rotate away with this AUG. He would love to hold on to it because then they can get a few rifles into this round. They're double eco anyway, but if he keeps the AUG up, they'll have 3 rifles to supplement this next round. Oh, it's a big if he gets away with it, but he's certainly making it look possible right now. Just gets away from the man on the wrap, and Letney's done a lot of damage there.
Saving's going to be a lot of fun on this map. There's so many little goblin angles and corners and crevices that you can hide in. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see players hunt down saving players. Letney is having a real game as well right now. I'm pretty sure 21-6 was the score. And yeah, shot mid-air, that was the issue for Hunter. Jump seems like a great idea. In reality, not quite as easy as you think. Not to make the jump, but to get through. Especially when the terrorists already got their eyes on it. That was another smoke execute from G2. They certainly have the utility, locked down. They had a smoke to cut off that B door that leads into the CT spawn. I was thrown from down ramp as well, so they definitely seem like they have done their homework on this map. Is it going to be enough to pull back this huge scoreline that Valiance took in the first half? We'll have to see. AWP back on Otto, and as you said, 3 rifles here for the likes of Valiance after that save.
Yeah, there's one of them opening this round up. Letney able to dispatch of Lucky in the opening few seconds of this round. G2 grouping up over here towards A. 4 players sat outside of it right now. Kenny leading the charge with the Stalk first, going to try and clear that CT boost that we mentioned a couple of times. And there is a man now moving into position there. That's Otto. He's got an AWP of his own, and these two staring through their binoculars, almost finding one another, but not quite. Kenny still aware of the opportunity that the AWP could rear its head here, and Kenny will shut him down. He gets rewarded for his patience. Next are arriving, but Jack shuts him down as well. And now Letney and Esperanto, what more can they do? SB will get 1 kill. He's getting pressured, and Shox deletes him. Letney in the 1v3, and there's Kenny S once again dominating with that AWP over towards A. He was one of the players for G2 who looks promising on this map. Him and Shox have seemed like they're maybe the two better adapted to it right now.
Yeah, and I think that AWP in the post plant on A is going to be so valuable. It's like a turret. You just lock down an angle. Valiance have to use utility to get back into the A site. There is no way you can retake A without flashbangs and smokes. It is almost impossible. Valiance, barely any utility. Just one flash. Letney wants to let them get aggressive down on A ramp, but look at G2. They're already in B. Lucky is just outside of the stairwell, and the rest of them are creeping up. Lucky can just be used as that probe player, get the information. Now, Valiance did get aggressive on ramp, and they found nothing for it, so they realized they should probably rotate. It's exactly what they're doing. It's just too little, too late.
Yeah, Lucky's already here with that max 10, and he's going to mop up these pistol players. This is a 9th looming for G2. And, you know, I mean, approaching the end of that first half, it looked like it was such a one-sided affair. Since getting onto this T side, though, bearing in mind it was an 11-4 half in favor of Valiance, G2 have done a stellar job of putting up rounds, now sitting, or about to be sitting, just 3 rounds behind that of the Valiant CT side. And this is where, you know, if you're Valiance, the pressure's really starting to come on. This was a map that you figured you'd be able to just kind of walk away with. You've put a lot of prep into. And after such a dominant half, maybe in their heads, they kind of started to consider, like, okay, right, they started turning their attention to dust, started feeling really positive. And now G2 making this comeback look like a scary reality.
Yeah, there's only a few more buy rounds left up between these two rosters before G2 are going to be not only nipping at the heels of Valiance, but overtaking them. 12-9, one of those few buys left. And Valiance will have the AWP, at least on Otto once again. Letney is performing lights out alongside Nexa, as are Kenny and Shox, as you say. And talking of which, Kenny's going to get aggressive up on, Otto's going to get aggressive up on B and get caught by Kenny. So man advantage for G2 once again. This is going to make things very hard for Valiance. If that bomb goes down, retaking already a man down makes G2 almost guaranteed to win. So much util. Nexa does get the trade down on B, though. He pushes up through the stairwell, dropping Lucky. Molotov missed for Shox. He's still going to go with it. He's pushed forward. Esperanto's there. Trade is in play, though. G2 keep it in a 3-on-3, and they back off down towards A, drop through the elevator shaft. Jax has killed Hunter up on the A site in the meantime, and that B rotate needs to come through from Nexa, because Letney is all alone.
Yeah, you know, with kills getting traded out over a mid, he's so worried about the potential of a mid-wrap from G2. Now, they kind of just as worried about Valiance uncovering the terrible truth that mid is empty and going for that elevator wrap. And this means G2 are using a lot of time, but it looks like they might try and fall back into this A side of the map. Bomb, or B rather. A on the back of Amanek. Kenny selling the fake at A. Pushing on in, Letney able to deal with him, and this actually now leaves them in a 2-on-2. Kenny going down has given a chance the way of Valiance to make something of this round. They do have a kit on Letney, so we'll have time to go for this. They're already knocking on the door of B. Amanek and Jax. Amanek had a very, very, very quiet first half. Has come to life here on the T side, and we need to see that road to recovery continue from this man.
Molly on the close corner, but no one there. Jax now knows one's coming from the doorway. They need to hear the drop from the window before they react. Jax has taken the first. Letney's late to the party. That bomb is almost about to go off, and he needs his kills here and now. Spray won't convert. And as you say, Amanek, the man to step up. 2 kills in that one. What a round from G2. I love that in the 3-on-3. They make the elevator drop. After they get that mid 1-for-1 with Amanek and Esperanto trading, Amanek drops down from the elevator towards A. That's heard by G2. And then G2 send Kenny S alone in towards that A site while his teammates go B. Those CTs completely fell for it. And as we've already talked about, B is so hard to retake on equal numbers. As Valiance are finding out the hard way, 12-10. This really is T-sided. This is the most T-sided map in the pool right now. I wonder if that will change in the future, if CTs will find a way to adapt and start to get closer halves, or if this is just always going to be a T-sided map. I guess while this map evolves and changes from Valve, that will make a huge difference in how it plays. Ooh, that's awkward. The smoke hits the molly on the side, blooms at the bottom. That almost could give a one-way to anyone in the window, but Valiance don't want to get in the window. They haven't got the info on mid. Luckily, there's no one there for G2 right now. It's just the B walk. Shox is in the sight. Esperanto holding the cross, but missed shot. Luckily, Nexa makes up for it. Now they go to back off. Hunter's found a kill in the meantime, and Jax does catch Letney getting aggressive, trying to flank up on the A site. This has opened up the other side of the map, and there's no one here just yet. The rotations will be coming through, but G2 aren't committing towards A. It's just Jax selling the fake again.
And he's doing a great job of it. With such tight choke points, one smoke and one Molotov actually does a hell of a lot, right? It denies the elevator peak. It keeps the man over at the back of plywood at Bay, but that might not matter because Lucky, bested, Kenny will shut down one, but he finds himself now in the 2-on-3. Will he check close left? Kenny will. Nexa, good night, Kenny! Third kill, looking for a little bit more, and he's still hungry for it. Esperanto on the other side. Holding close, and Kenny's going to cement this round, 11-12. And damn right, he's going to hype the crowd up. What a play from Kenny. What a savior this man has been. He is the one player looking pretty at home here on Vertigo. 4 kills for him there with the AWP, and my word, a saving grace when G2 needed him the most. That was just pistols for Valiance, and he's able to recover it nicely. Double AWP now invested into by Letney and Otto. Kenny, though, he's been hitting with the force of 2 men himself, so that might be what's needed to deal with him.
Are these AWPs the answer? That's the question here for Valiant. G2 have been faking them all half long. And so when G2 eventually do even go for this A play, I bet Valiant won't believe it. Seems like this might be the round for that. The bomb's currently up towards ramp. Jax is clearing out yellow. Hunter, this wallbang could be so valuable. It works from both sides. T's specifically in the post part love to wallbang rotations through this position. Ooh, it's very close. Letney's still the first point of contact on this A site with the AWP, but in the meantime, G2 want to split up. They want to split in through middle. Molotov to Esperanto. He moves before it. Doesn't matter. Amanek gets the kill. Opener now for G2, but traded down on A by Otto. Or B, rather, on Otto. G2, oh, they're going to boost up from the B side. They're going to get control of middle this way. The bomb's thrown. Kenny can go up and above with the AWP. Not wanting to jump into the window, rather wanting to peek. And they've got that deep smoke to cut off the CT's point of view from mid. Kenny will drop. Otto will hear it. In 25 seconds, G2, they're looking to hit B, but it's fully stacked by Valiance. They need to go now. Are they going to split A through middle? No, they can't. The bomb's up B stairs.
Yeah, they've got to commit to this. And as you say, with so many players here, that is a real problem. Yeah, this bomb has to go down in the next few seconds or else this is all said and done. Missed shot from Otto maybe gives them a chance, but it's Nexa hidden in the bomb site who could shut this entire round down. The bomb's not getting planted, and Nexa, he finds them both. He locks down the round. But Amanek, with 1 second, he gets the trade. What is that?
The late mid-lurk from G2, all that mid-control they've been taking, the boost up from inside of B, and the smoke to cut off that CT rotation point. He comes late in through that squeaky door and saves his entire team. 3 kills from Amanek, and you said he warmed up coming into this T side. That is more than evident. Nexa tries his damnedest, but even with 3 kills in that bomb site, it is not enough.
It is definitely not. I mean, there was a time, I'm pretty sure, Amanek was sitting like 1-14 or like 1-9 or something along those lines. It's not till this T side that Amanek has come to life, and what a time for it. Might just be one of the saviors of G2 alongside this man on your screen. Kenny S has been a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, you can't see the head. That's a back CT boost. On the angle now, but they've dismantled. They've covered this A site with players and pistols. No Molotovs left up for G2 to clear these positions, and the smokes are starting to run dry. They need to move soon. They've done a good bit of damage, although unaware of it. These double nades chipping away at Valiance. Shox gets the opening kill. There's 2 more on the site. Does he realize? Yes. One, not the other. Hunter gets the trade, but he can't retrieve the gun, and Jax is chasing him down. Pushed through the smoke from SB, but he's dead as well. And this round is done. G2 are making it happen. An 11-4 T side for Valiance. G2 want to one-up it, and they might just do that. We question, Harry, what were Valiance's protocols coming into this CT side? What are their responses? Well, they're out of them.
I mean, this is incredible from G2. Really, honestly, it is. An 11-4 half. As you say, right, this looked like Valiance had this in the bag. This looked like they had it. And this is now where the pressure's going to start to really, you know, the cracks are going to start to show. You're going to start doubting yourself, getting in your own head. You had such a strong start. And I mean, now, since getting that 1 round in round number 3, they haven't found anything. The last 6 in a row going the way of G2. You've got nothing to build upon if you're Valiance in this situation.
We've just seen we've seen nothing go well for them on the CT side. They have 1 round to their name. It's not been working at all. No flanks on these executes. G2 had every part of the map locked in. That molly's going to miss. Slow down the approach towards middle. What's this here? Is that a triple boost? I think it's a triple boost going on the A side of things. It's Letney on the top side of it. Wow.
Okay.
That is OP.
I have not seen this.
No, and it's so obvious now that you think of it.
There we go. Let's spread the word of this one, because that's a nice little innovation from Valiance. People complain about that ramp play not being reliably able to shut down. That might be the answer.
The issue is wallbanging that. If a T sees you on the top, you're going to have every T on ramp spraying that wallbang, and you're going to kill both bottom players.
Ooh, it's Kenny to open up once again. This time Hunter falls. There is an equalizer found by Esperanto as this mid duel is going down. Kenny still edging forward. Missed shot, and Otto is there to find him. So man advantage taken here for Valiance.
This is the mid lurk that saved the round the other day for G2. Amanek so deep in the CT side of things. Esperanto's got an idea though. He's full around. Amanek's not going to hit the shot. Esperanto takes it back. That could have been the kill that opened up the A site for G2, but now they're walking in to Letney and his org creeping onto the site. G2 not making it very clear, not making it evident. Letney gonna scope, and I think they would have heard that. They're so close by. Esperanto's not ready for them to be this deep within the site, and 25 seconds. G2 need to get this bomb down, but they need the kills first. There's one. Trade is straight away. Lucky's still on the site, and that Molotov gonna deny his bomb play. He's gotta smoke it off or run away, and he's not got time to run away. 15 seconds. They're closing the distance. They're keeping the pressure up, and they won't allow him to plant anytime soon. Nexus shuts it down, and Valiance, their second round of the half, has taken.
They're finally able to get back into it. They find a 13. They tie this up. A few big moments in that round, but namely Esperanto shutting down this attempted mid-play. Otto gets a very crucial kill onto Kenny as well, and that's such a big scalp to find, because time and time again, this French AWP has opened up rounds for G2. This time, ramp aggression from Valiance, and lucky, ramp belongs to him. Otto will finally put a stop to it, but Kenny here at ramp only gets the tag. Now aggressing, he's charged into this site and will get shut down as a result. Letney able to get rid of him. Rotation's already en route from the rest of Valiance. The G2 will be walking into a 3-on-3 potentially, but that attempted wrap from Otto. Shox has found him trying to drop down the elevator. Letney and Esperanto, 40 points of health between them, and they're getting shut down left and right. G2, they've got 1 minute and 10 seconds, all the time in the world.
And they can just stop. No need to move. They killed that rotate off of B, so now they can just wait for Esperanto to re-aggress to try and flank them. And he's going to walk right into their crosshairs on 20 HP. G2 with the perfect read in this round, and oh, could the timing elude them? Shox has just turned off at this angle. He's just moved back up the ramp. Esperanto, if he plays the trigger discipline, he could have both kills. Amanek's lining up nades. He's found them both. Can he do it? Yes! Esperanto shutting down G2, and it's Valiance to pick it up. 20 HP, and he finds the 1-on-2. 14 rounds to Valiance. Back-to-back rounds, most importantly.
Yeah, G2 so worried about, potentially walking into an Esperanto who was set up or the wrap coming in. They hold for so long. They were aware of the potential of Esperanto rotating away and going for the wrap round either through elevator or through ramp. And as you said, the timing just eluded Shox. The moment he looked away, Esperanto starts to push up through the ramp. And that's the round locked on in. G2, they have done so well to get it back to this scoreline, but now Valiant sit back in the lead on the back of a 1v2 from Esperanto. 14-13 from what was an 11-4 half in favor of Valiance. And G2, they've gone for this partial investment here. They've got CZs, they've got armor, a bit of utility as well.
Harry, they want an overtime. They've not had enough. They want more Vertigo, and so do I. This is a ballsy call from G2, but it's their best bet. They wanted everything. They want the AWP on Kenny. They want all the guns, all the utility. And they still have a chance to win this round. Don't get us wrong. We know the A site can be, very, very tantalizing as a terrorist. And so G2 going for the full execute. We've not seen this once yet on this T side. So straight up AXX, no luck, no fake. No B site. Smokes it down and Valiance are cordoned out. They will boost above it to try and get an angle, but G2 taking their time with pushing up on top of this site. They've been spotted. Molotov down by the CT side is going to deny the bomb plant for a few more seconds, but you can see Shox is trying to get it down. Jax has found the entry kill. The flash is good. Esperanto's blind, but he steps up again too. Not enough. Jax gets the trade. It's a 3-on-3, and guns can be retrieved. Flash off, pushes the player back inside of the elevator room, and Hunter, he can't stop this bomb plant, but he can certainly get some more kills.
Shox and Jax set up. They've got that bomb down, but they've got no time to set up post-plant. Jax gets eliminated and Shox follows. It will be Valiance reaching map point 15-13. The bomb plant there is a crucial one for G2 as it does allow a goodbye to come in to try and make overtime a reality. But this is, it's been such a weird game to watch. An 11-4 half in favor of Valiance. We almost wrote G2 off then, and then they went on this monumental comeback led by Kenny, helped out by Amanek massively. And, to see it now all start to fall apart at the very end is heartbreaking. Of course, they are 1-0 up in the series. We still have Dust 2 as that third map, and we're just 1 round away from seeing it, 2 away from overtime. But this is going to require something out of this world from G2. The confidence is instilled back in Valiance again, and G2, they're feeling the pressure. They want to do this home crowd justice, but this map is now in the hands of Valiance.
No one's touching middle here for Valiance. It's Esperanto playing extremely passive so he can drop between either of the two sites. The issue is if you take him down or cut him off with utility, you can get that window control and split towards B. Not the most valuable of positions, But with Lucky outside of those stairs right now, and the bomb dropped back top mid, G2 will need to get it if they want to commit. That's a great shot. Amanek opens up. This is still doable after all, and Nex has been drawn off of that B site as the mid push comes through. Letney gets another one, and Shox, he's still in the same position. This bomb is yet to be retrieved. Kenny S has to go back and get that, but it's above top mid. Above the T-spawn, Hunter's found Shox. This is still all up in the air. G2 finally getting the bomb, and Kenny's going to have to drop down elevator and come back towards this A site. Trying to throw some utility back into mid. But they're going to hear that drop, and they're going to be ready for this A push.
Yeah, Hunter and Letney already posted up. These two have been looking so crisp. Letney with 27 kills. He's almost at the 30 bomb. Hunter holding the angle, brought down low. Does get forced back. Time is of the essence. Letney through the smoke has dropped the first man. He's looking to try and do more damage. Lucky gets him. Octo in with the trade. The bomb's been dropped out in the open, and there's no last second save. Oh, Kenny gets one, but there's no time for the bomb plant. He's got to get the kill, and there's just not enough time left. So close, but Valiance, they take the second map by the skin of their teeth. From an 11-4 half, they prevail 16-13. Stellar effort from the G2 squad to make that comeback look doable, and great demonstration of resilience from the Valiance guys to somehow get back into that game after having such a huge lead and then having it dwindle away from you, to have the ability to grind your way back into that. And it was very much a grind, right? Like, a fantastic individual effort. Esperanto as well, really stepping up there for them. Letney had a stellar game as well. What, you finished with, what, 28 kills?
Nexa dropped 30, I'm pretty sure. At least it was 29, something like that. So yeah, Nexa, Letney, Esperanto, these names were huge for the likes of Valiance. And what a win for them as well. Over on that T side, G2 won 9 out of the 10 rounds to start off the half. And then finally Valiance get the solution in the last couple, saving it, removing the possibility of overtime. I wanted more rounds, but Valiance had enough. They want to go to dust.
I tell you what, though, I'm not complaining. And in a way, you can't imagine the French crowd are either, because they get to see G2 up on this stage that much longer. Dust 2 will be the third map, and that's where we get to see who will be locking in their spot in the grand finals to face off versus Mouse Sports. It's a good map for both teams, actually, but it's one that G2, I feel like, they're still feeling comfortable coming into this, especially on the back of that comeback. If it was just like a blowout, maybe that would have affected them, but now we are set for a fantastic third map. Do not go anywhere, because you do not want to miss it.